Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome again to the latest ADM Agriculture YouTube market update. I'm joined this week by my colleague Freddie Humfrey, our national wheat trader. It's been an interesting week in the markets. Grains are all up sharply in recent days, setting new crop highs in London wheat this morning, and this comes after what was really a pretty disappointing update from the USDA last week on their world S&D and old crop stock numbers. What did you make of those, Freddie?
Thanks, Jonathan. So we were expecting the USDA to report a sharp tightening in old crop corn ending stocks, maybe as low as 250 million metric tons, following the significant export program to China and also increasing domestic usage on ethanol. But in fact, the actual numbers they gave didn't show that significant decrease, and therefore didn't give the market that significant bullish shove. The wheat numbers on top of that were pretty unsurprising, and based on the numbers alone, we wouldn't have been surprised to see a bit of a correction in the market, to be honest. So not a huge amount to really add from the wheat side. But yet again, that the weather's giving us a bit of a head scratch, and it's becoming a bit of a concern and driving prices.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we just look at this graphic here, you can see that it's become unnervingly dry, actually, in parts of the northern US, the Dakotas in particular. There's some concerns creeping in about the dryness in the central plains, in the corn growing areas as well, and definitely up in the Canadian prairies. It is dry, and this is helping to push the markets along in the US. And it's a similar picture really in Europe. If we look here at this graphic, it highlights the lack of rain that we've had through April, with France and the UK in particular being very dry, and also out into the east in Poland. And I think this, combined with the very low temperatures that we've seen, some overnight frosts that are much lower than we would expect to see this time of year, it's really becoming a significant cause for concern. And there is downward revisions that could well be put in for crops across mainland Europe, Scandinavia, and the UK.
Yeah, I think when you add that dryness in the UK, bringing it to more UK domestic picture, you tie that in with the big depreciation in sterling that we've seen recently. It adds a bit of positivity to the market. So we saw that nice strong rally up to the 117 mark versus euro, and then we've pulled back quite significantly. Much of it's to do with the uncertainty around some of the extension of the vaccine rollout, but also on top of that, the resignation of Andy Haldane, the Bank of England's chief economist, and thirdly, just to top it off, the potential for Westminster to grant Holyrood a mandate for that Scottish independence referendum, which is just concerning markets a little bit from sterling side of things. And when you jump into how that has reacted in terms of London ICE futures on the NOV 21. We see a big, strong rally in a pretty gappy market.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to wrap up, this market certainly has a bullish undertone. The new crop corn S&D is definitely supportive, and the corn story in isolation definitely has a very bullish undertone. We certainly thought that wheat, if it was going to reach its potential of high prices that we've seen this year, it needed its own story. And actually, maybe this spring drought has the potential to be that story. I certainly think it's something that needs watching closely. I think that wraps it up from us for this week. If you want any additional detail or have any questions on our video this week, please get in touch with your ADM Agriculture farm buyer, or alternatively get in touch with us on the contact details at the end of the video. Thanks again. Thanks, Freddie, for your help this week. Speak soon.